Before this whole incident happened, my girlfriend and I always had a very sexually active relationship. We would have very intensive intercourse at the very least once per day. We were mostly into fetish and the use of sex toys. Every week, we would browse the sex toy store to find a new sex toy to use. That's pretty much how often we get bored of each sex toy. The kinds of sex toys we use are mostly based off of known people and animals. Not that we are into bestiality. We just do it for the texture. The monkey dildo has always been our favorite of the animals, because of the texture. I am very sad to say that last week marked the end of our active sex life. At that point, we have pretty much shopped every sex toy store in our town. We browsed the online shops instead because we ran out of interesting toys to bother with. Unfortunately for us, the formative sex toy online shops are just online shops that are owned by the same shops in our town. We decided to browse through Instagram instead. Another problem with browsing for toys with Instagram is that Instagram is full of sensitive snowflakes who report any page related to sex. Finally, we found this Instagram page called George Floyd Sex Toys Official 5. We could tell the owner of the account had a ton of previous accounts deleted based off of the number at the end of the name. We looked through the posts. The toys were so damn hot. The anal bead that plays the I can't breathe sound effect was quite a unique one. My girlfriend wanted to pick something simple for a start. So we decided to purchase the George Floyd butt plug. It costed us $599.99, without including the tax, but it was well worth it at the time. It was a 1-week delivery. I was at my job while it arrived at our home, so my girlfriend was the one who took it. I guess my girlfriend got so horny when she first saw the package because she immediately fucked the mailman while I was at work. I didn't mind since the George Floyd butt plug will enhance our sexual experience anyway. Once I got home, I walked into my girlfriend already full on using the George Floyd butt plug. She was pulling it in and out like a madman. I was very tired from work, so I said we could have intercourse the next night, and then I kissed her goodnight. The next morning, my girlfriend told me she was starting to feel pins and needles inside her asshole. She also felt something moving in and out of it. I suggested to her that it was probably because she just got extremely horny from the George Floyd butt plug and should take a break from using it. She accepted my response. After comforting her, I left for work. During my job, I couldn't wait to do some anal with her. Fast forward to the night, we had our best and last intercourse. We went to bed right after, just like last night. I had a very strange experience while I was sleeping that night. I didn't dream about anything, but I was somehow able to think and feel. I could not open my eyes, but I felt something stroking my dick. I thought it was just my imagination from doing all that hardcore fucking. When I woke up, I felt a ton of pins and needles in my dick, just like when my girlfriend felt it in her asshole. You know that feeling when you've taken a good nap on your arm and then woke up with that feeling? Well, multiply that by 10 for my dick. It felt very irritating. We went to the doctor for a checkup to see if we got an STD. The doctor verdict was we were completely healthy. We just went on with our day and shrugged it off as a coincidence. That night, I felt that same thing stroking my dick. I tried to open my eyes, but could not open even a tiny slit sufficient enough to see anything. I told my girlfriend about it and she said she felt the same thing, except it was going in and out of her ass. We decided to set up cameras to see if we both might be sleepwalking and end up having sex. The next night, we plugged in the cameras and started recording before we slept. The next morning we watched the videotape of the entire night sped up. At around 1 a.m. my girlfriend spotted a dark figure at the corner of the bedroom. "Honey, what the fuck is that?" my girlfriend said, pointing at it. I paused the video and examined it closely. At first, I thought the figure was just a tall monkey, but when I tried to ration things, I realized it was a black nigger. I proceeded to play the tape. The figure then went over and sat on our king-sized bed. He then pulled down my pants and started stroking my dick. I didn't appear to move at all. I turned up the volume. The figure said in a familiar voice, "Hee hee hee, finally I am absorbing all that penis air." It was the voice of George Floyd. I paused again and looked closely at his face. Sure enough, he was George Floyd. I pressed play. George Floyd eventually got me to ejaculate. But my semen did not look like liquid at all. It looked more like an aura of white floating dust, flying into George Floyd's inhaling mouth. George Floyd then proceeded to pull my girlfriend's pants off and then fingered her. After he was done, a similar white floating dust flew out and George Floyd inhaled it. After I was done with the whole recording, I had many questions. How is George Floyd even here when he is supposed to be dead? How did he break into our home so silently? And how did we not wake up? I tried to come up with a rational answer. We called the police to do a search through the house. After a few hours of looking through every surface of our property, they didn't come up with anything suspicious, except for the ugly face photo printed onto a butt plug, which I assumed was the George Floyd butt plug. They left our home and we still had no answers. Sweetie, I may sound crazy, but I think at this point there might be some paranormal activity going on, my girlfriend told me. I agreed. So many of what happened seemed to defy physics. Later that day, we attended an appointment with a paranormal specialist. We described everything we saw beginning from when we purchased the George Floyd butt plug and even showed him the recordings. I saw him get a slight boner after seeing my girlfriend get fingered by George Floyd, but I didn't care. I wanted answers desperately. He then wrote a bunch of symbols on his notebook. He then concluded, the butt plug you guys bought is no ordinary sex toy. You see, when a person dies, their soul remains intact with every object associated with them. That includes paintings and photos. Now that George Floyd is dead, the butt plug with a photo of his face in the base is not an exception. Now that you as a couple interacted with the object in such a passionate manner, which is genuine sex expressing love, that signaled George Floyd's spirit to leave hell and haunt you. What he wants from both of you guys is your air. Specifically the air contained in your sexual body parts. The white mist you see him inhale comes from him providing you guys an orgasm while you both sleep. Is essentially oxygen which spirits can breathe as air. This explains the pins and needles you both feel in the morning. This is due to the lack of circulation going to your genitals. It's what you feel when that specific body part lacks oxygen. George Floyd is depriving it of oxygen so that he can breathe it for himself. After listening to this man's conclusion, I was in the state of shock. I couldn't grasp the truth of all of this. My girlfriend and I then paid the bill and left. Night hit and we then slept with the cameras recording. During the night, I felt George Floyd giving me a blowjob. The next morning we viewed the overnight recording. We saw George Floyd enjoying all the air coming out of my dick and her asshole. Yippee! I like this air, George Floyd said when he finished. The pins and needles felt a lot worse this time. I couldn't handle it. It continued to feel that way the entire day this time. It got to the point where I could no longer take it. I took my kitchen knife and cut off my dick. The blood gushing out had a very dark color indicating low levels of oxygen in the hemoglobin which got absorbed by George Floyd's ghost. I didn't want to feel this anymore. No more sex for the rest of my life, but at the time, I was worth ending the pain. The next night, I didn't feel any stroking. I felt very bad for my girlfriend because it is impossible to cut off a hole. But the next morning, she did something even worse. She did self-surgery by cutting open her abdomen and then removed her intestines through her rectum. I saw the dark red blood pouring out as well. I tried calling the ambulance, but it was too late before she was long gone. I watched the videotape for that next night. George Floyd entered the room in disappointment. "Ah shit, no air to breathe out of their penis and anus anymore," he said in a sad tone. He left the room. It's been a week since that happened and I haven't seen George Floyd in the following night's recordings, so it's safe to say he has no interest in visiting us anymore. If you consider buying and using the George Floyd butt plug, do not use it too much, or else you will awaken his spirit and he will steal all your penis air.